when people feel like they're a part of a community, they're going to take responsibility for what's happening to themselves and the community as a whole. But if they don't belong here, they don't feel like they belong here, then what reason is there for them to get better or to heal? Because when you feel lost, that's exactly it. You don't have a place, you don't have any touchstones, whether it's culturally, whether it's family, whether it's just even a place to warm up at. When you don't have those types of minimal things that the rest of us take for granted. There are a lot of gatekeepers in the communities, and they have a vested stake in keeping things the way they are, especially people in positions of power. The reason they got in those positions is because they could work with the current system. So when you're talking about having a grassroots approach or a community-driven approach, it's pretty rare to have leaders that are actually focused on the community and not just their next re-election cycle. There's not a lot of push nationally to really hold our own communities accountable. You're not actually dealing with any of the problems that are causing this. All you're doing is doing a press conference or a news release or a Facebook post, depending on the size of your community, and saying, we're going to clean up this community. But you're actually not dealing with any of the underlying social issues that are causing these in the first place, the trauma, the intergenerational effects, the social services apprehensions, the whole line of things that cause our communities to be hurt. You need to be completely honest as to what the situations you're dealing with, the realities for the community, and why you need to be aggressive on these approaches. People's lives are at stake. I would invest heavily in mental health and addictions to address the HIV crisis and the overdose crisis. The health authority to truly integrate Indigenous perspectives and staff on the front line and in management roles so that we can actually make an impact and actually respond to the community and have those community connections so that we can make the impact we need to make. Deregulating HIV testing. I think in Saskatchewan we have universal HIV access for medication. That eliminated a lot of barriers. There's all these little policy tweaks that we can make across Canada that will have drastically improved the impacts of people's lives. The other part that I think that we saw a big gap in the community is access to cultural supports. Whether having something like smudging available, we've been able to de-escalate a lot of mental health crisis, like really violent behaviors, because we have smudge available. Before the pandemic, we were taking people to ceremony. That was really good for helping stabilize people because that reconnection and making it open access has been really good. Having Indigenous staff and having it, we have this thing where it's super reliant on the family members to provide those supports. We need organizations to step up, hire Indigenous, hire people from the community so that they're integrated in staff. And I don't just mean on a janitorial position, although that's great too. I mean throughout the organization so that people's family members have a place to go, because family can only do so much. Everybody needs that professional help, and having a place that they can refer to that's trusted in the community is really key so that they at least know they're going to be safe if family can't do all those things. And we see it across the whole sector. Everybody's getting burnt out. Everybody's stretched to really thin. And so I think when we're looking at this going forward, we need to make sure that agencies are set up for success with our community and challenge those. We're going to have some hard discussions. I've been to many community meetings where somebody says, well, I'm an elder and this isn't our way, traditional, but they still have a lot of those outdated views on homosexuality, on trans issues, on Two-Spirit, on harm reduction, and I try to provide them the education. I'm not just going to let you hold this up because you view yourself as the gatekeeper when our community's dying. If you're truly an elder, you're trying to help our community and elevate it rather than just saying, no, we don't support those people anymore. That's harm reduction in a nutshell. Is we're providing choices for people. We're asking for their consent before we do something, so I want to make sure they have all the information. They're going to make a choice. Whatever the consequences of that choice are, the implications of that choice, they have to live with them, not me. Always be focused on the future for them, not reprimanding them for the decisions they made in the past. Allow people to grow. Give them that space to grow and make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and not become the I told you so in their life.